The Brian Mudd Show is on News Radio 610 WIOD.
Joining us is criminologist, Professor, Tarleton State University, Dr. Alex Del Carmen. And Dr. Del Carmen, thank you for taking the time with us.
Thanks for having me, Brian.
Yeah, so we are hearing about a new round of sextortion scams. Now, with ransom, we've heard a lot of these different attacks often have been targeted at businesses, organizations. We know the Colonial Pipeline and of course, JBS. But there's another type of, entity that's out there now that, has been working on people that might perceive vulnerability. So in this instance, you have people that are receiving emails. Some cases it's text saying that, hey, we've got material. We got nude photos of you, or we've got illicit videos. And if you don't give us what we're asking for, which is usually Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, then we're going to share this with people. What should people know when they receive this type of material?
Yeah, so 99.9% of the time, it is absolutely 100% scam, right? This is somebody probably in a foreign country or even here in the United States through multiple accounts that they've been able to retrieve your information, and they're sending thousands upon thousands of these emails and texts on an hourly basis, right? And they're hoping that at least a couple of people are going to take it seriously, and they're going to, in fact, transfer the money, and they're going to become rich as a result of that. If you do the math and you think about how many thousands of people receive the emails, even if 5% or 3% of those individuals were to respond to the scam, these individuals are making a lot of money on an hourly basis, right?
Well, and one of the things that comes to mind in this is, unfortunately, a number of people that have maybe at a time in their life where they were younger or whatever, they would have engaged in material that it could possibly be out there, right? I mean, pictures that somebody else took, pictures that they might have sent. We know that sexting it's been quite big in recent years. And, once that happens, how should somebody deal with something like this to where maybe there could be more credibility behind it?
Well, they want to bank on the suspicion that you may have about your own stuff being released, right? So they're trying to get to that, 3-second lapse that an individual may have had to have accidentally or purposely gone to, some sort of a nude picture or have texted a girlfriend, boyfriend, etc. So they're banking on that, right? They're hoping that you can go back in your memory lane and think, oh my gosh, that may be out there, and who knows, right? So that's exactly the sort of nerve they want to touch in order to be able to get as much money as they can. But look, at the end of the day, again, 99.9% of the time, these are false. Even the English that they use, you can tell that if someone, overseas that does not even write English grammatically correctly. Other times the name that they actually post on there is not your real name. They use whatever they can find online. So there are clues that an individual can always go back to and reread the email and get a sense that this is just a massive amount. This is one of a massive amount of emails that they're sending out on an hourly basis.
Would it ever be appropriate or effective, as you're keenly aware of the criminal mind, to actually say, prove it to me, prove that you got something?
No, because if you correspond with the person, you already acknowledge that A, your email address is correct, B, that you are fearful enough or at least inquisitive enough to find out, and C, you're now engaging in an interaction with a criminal, right? So the very best thing to do is to simply ignore it. Block that individual out if you can. And then also, at times the FBI even says, look, even consider changing an email address or retyping your password or changing your password to make it, more difficult for hackers to find. But absolutely do not interact with someone, even if you think you're more clever than they are, because all you're doing is feeding the monster, right? Feeding that individual to give you just made them legitimate, and you made them aware of the fact that you are reading your emails, and now they're going to go into that second wave of emails to people like you that respond, or me that respond, to say, hey, by the way, we've got really good stuff. We can't really talk about it. They may go to your Facebook page and find some random name of somebody and say, hey, we saw you with so-and-so the other day. It's just a never-ending scam.
I don't know if you have an opinion about this, but it came to mind when you were talking about this. It's something else that has been brought to my attention here and there. Somebody will ask, hey, is this type of thing real? Where you have some of these, people that are saying, hey, we've captured things on your video camera with your computer. What should people be concerned about? Maybe even closing that off, the computer on the camera on their computer when they're not using it?
Yeah, so I oversee part of my academic oversight is a cyber institute, and I can tell you with our cyber experts in criminology, we often say that, or they often tell me rather, that we should definitely cover all of our cameras, both on televisions as well as computers when we're not using it, because they are hackable and somebody can actually break in and actually watch you, right? But the odds of that happening and the odds of that an individual breaking into your camera and being able to get all that information and recording it is absolutely, slim to none, right? So I would argue that, again, don't buy the lie, even though it sounds logical and it sounds doable. Don't buy it. Don't feed into the monster, because one thing to tell you about your audience, for your audience to know, is that once you give them $10 or $20, they're going to ask for more. They're going to ask for more. This is a never-ending scam. And so once we've talked to a lot of victims that initially would, send $1,000 or $500 in the hopes that these people will go away. They will never go away. Once they find that you are feeding them money, they're going to continue to exploit you.
Good advice. Criminologist, professor, Tarleton State University, Dr. Alex Del Carmen.